In 1978, a young girl was found murdered deep inside the forest. A man was arrested for the crime, convicted, and publicly executed. Everyone believed the nightmare was finally over, that the monster was dead. But months later, another girl disappeared. Fear crept into every home. Panic spread through the streets until the government declared a state of emergency, and tanks rolled through the city at dawn. Then her body was found, in the same place, and the same way. That's when they realized the horrifying truth. The killer had returned. Victims multiplied. The police were helpless. People stopped going out. Small towns turned into silent graveyards. And the more they tried to stop him, the number only grew, and people started thinking aloud. Would the secret be revealed before it was too late? Or would the monster continue his merciless revenge? Fear was no longer whispered in cafes. It became the city's language. Tanks on the streets, checkpoints at every corner, faces frozen in terror. After endless panic and pressure, the government intensified the hunt, and finally, they caught him. He looked ordinary on the street. His face gave nothing away, yet his eyes were tense, as if hiding a dark secret. Average height, cautious steps, few words, rare smiles. It was easy for people to believe he was just an ordinary citizen. After days of brutal interrogation, the man confessed, under fear and pressure, and was executed soon after. For the first time in years, peace returned, and the people of Rostov could finally breathe again. But that peace didn't last long. Weeks later, another girl was found, then another, then another. Terror ruled the city once again. People began to believe the killer was a ghost, something invisible and unpredictable, until one shocking truth emerged. The man who was executed was innocent. And the real killer was still out there, walking among the people, smiling without a hint of mercy, hiding behind an ordinary face, planning the next victims. As crimes escalated and investigations conflicted, security forces sank into chaos. Streets filled with fear, people hiding behind doors and windows, watching every suspicious move. The army took to the streets, tanks pounding the pavements, sirens blaring, while the police exhausted their strength and officials pressed relentlessly. Answers had to come, no matter the cost. From the other side, a stranger walked among the soldiers unnoticed, sometimes helping them, sometimes smiling at the victim in the morning, only to strike at night, hiding behind an ordinary face and planning his next victims. Amid this turmoil, one man sat in his dark office, surrounded by files and photographs, studying every thread of evidence, as if the mystery itself filled the room and whispered its secrets in his ear. Everyone was shocked when he discovered the pattern, the signature of a single killer, repeating without pause. This man was Viktor Burakov, a seasoned investigator, unconcerned with fame, never forgetting a single victim's face, every lost child's laugh, every family's tear etched into his memory, driving him to uncover the truth at any cost. Burakov reached out to someone outside the system, someone unafraid of twisted minds, someone who studied them, understood them, knew how to read between the lines of crimes, and how to trace the shadows within dark souls. That man was Dr. Alexander Bukhanovsky, the first criminal psychiatrist in the Soviet Union, a man who placed reason above emotion, seeking truth behind every suspicious act, every ominous silence, and every deceitful smile. Their meeting was a clash between two logics: Burakov's iron intuition, which never failed, and Bukhanovsky's cold, analytical mind, capable of seeing the patterns invisible to everyone else. Together, they were about to open a window into the mind of the monster, where no mercy existed, no law prevailed, only the dark truth waiting to be revealed. 12 years, 55 murders. The country had lost hope, until the monster made his first mistake. In 1990, a patrol officer noticed a man acting strangely, watching passengers, moving nervously, stains on his coat. Arrogance. That's what brought him down. He thought he was untouchable, so he dared to defy fate publicly. Evidence was irrefutable. Murder tools, dates, locations, details matching each victim. Forensic analysis tied him to every crime, but after his arrest, the hardest part began, making him talk. His name was Andrei Chikatilo, a former teacher, father of two, an ordinary face in a crowded street. During interrogation, he sometimes laughed like a madman. Other times, he went completely silent, eyes darting nervously around the room. Then suddenly, he'd glare with cold defiance, like a predator watching his hunters. He never spoke about the murders. He went deeper, into his childhood, his fears, the scars that created the monster long before the crimes began. Dr. Bukhanovsky played with his mind, guiding him through memories, forcing him to face the boy he once was, and the monster he had become. And through those questions, the walls began to crack. He stopped hiding. Little by little, the truth emerged. Every detail, every face. He spoke about the forest, about the nights he couldn't control himself, about the voices that drove him. By the time he was done, 55 victims had names, and finally, people knew what kind of monster had been living among them. After more than a decade of terror, Andrei Chikatilo finally sat in the iron cage. But instead of remorse, he laughed. He mocked the judges, the victims' families who came for justice. His laughter was cold, cruel, as if saying, "I am still in control." In 1994, he was executed, but the terror he spread will never vanish.
He was never able to sit at a table and converse with his lawyer the way a Western defendant would have been.
His shadow still lingers in the forest, in the streets, in memory.